Go get your brushes, go get your paint. This is how you do it, the Shoshie way. I'm gonna teach you, be ready to learn. 'Cause when I'm done, it's your turn. Take your time, steady and you can do it right. Shoshie can enter my world, watch what grows. And when I'm through, why not have it go? Take your time, steady and you can do it right. Shoshie can enter my world, watch what grows. And when I'm through, why not have it go? We paint miniatures, we paint miniatures, we paint miniatures. Turn on, tune in, hear what I say. Watch real closely, enjoy your stay. You'll see me painting from up above. And if you like it, give it mad love. Take your time, steady and you can do it right. Shoshie can enter my world, watch what grows. And when I'm through, why not have it go? Take your time, steady and you can do it right. Shoshie can enter my world, watch what grows. And when I'm through, why not have it go? We paint miniatures, we paint miniatures, we paint miniatures. We paint miniatures, we paint miniatures, we paint miniatures.
Hello, it is Shoshie, and we are live, and it is an impromptu stream because I found out the other day that I'm going to Gen Con to work in the Goliath Coins booth tomorrow, this is on Saturday, and I was talking to the owner of Blackheart Miniatures, which is another company that I've been painting minis for, and he wants to buy the whole set of Jesse, Jackie, and Joe. So that's these 3 minis here. And I didn't have Jesse painted. So I told him, I said, let me get him painted. So that's why I'm impromptu going to stream. You also are going to get to, so this is definitely sponsored by Blackheart Miniatures and Redgrass Games, because I'm going to try out their brand new palette that they sent me. And I'm going to go back to Discord and unmute because my moderator, Bachelor, is going to join us. Hold on one second. Let me go back to Discord and unmute. Hold on. There we go. Okay, say something that... Can you hear me? Oh, you muted. There we go.
Yeah, I can.
Okay, and I can hear you on my desktop as well. Good. So let's take a peek at this Redgrass palette so that people can see. I'm going to switch to overhead. The first thing, it comes with this little sidecar thing, and I'm guessing this is to hold paint pot. Oh yeah, that fits good. But it really fits, I'll show you what it really fits, these wash pots by Citadel. That is awesome. Does it? It doesn't? Ah! I'm so happy. Hold on a second. This is amazing. This is one of the contrast pots. Oh, it fits even better. So I don't have to worry about my contrast pots tipping over as much, or my washes, which I waste so much money every year. Then it comes with this little thing. It's called a wavy. In the past, I haven't been as fond of these wavies because sometimes the washes will stick to the plastic, but that's okay. What else is in here? This is a Redgrass Games ergonomic painting handle, and I think the difference between this and the ones that I've used in the past, yes, is that there's a new gray putty that they have. This is a little magnetic thing that you can stick to your desk. Actually, let's try that. Let's put that. We'll just put that over here. And then, boom. Doesn't want to, that's awesome. So you can knock it over, but if you bump it, it won't move. Hi, hello.
Really
Welcome,
cool.
Matt and Raymond. Pardon me. So yeah, that is new. I probably won't be using this today, but I like that new putty. And yeah, this is the new mounting putty. Neutral gray, safe and easy to use. So that came with it. Then this book comes with the new palette. This is from Redgrass Games, but it's written by Angel Giraldes, and so it's got all of his little tutorials in here, which is awesome because Angel's a fantastic painter. Oh, check this out. So this is a dilution, and that goes really well with their... This is a whole commercial. I'm sponsored, okay? I'm gonna toot this, okay? But anyway, this mat comes with this dilution thing. Let me move that up a little bit. Let me move this so you can see it's got all of the glazes and everything. And then this shows pretty much the same thing, so you can use this to dilute. What else is in here that's cool? Nice. There's a non-metallic gold, there's a red, there's flames. Some nice recipes. Ah, look at this. This is nice. A little how to paint eyes in 4 steps. If you want really simple eyes, yes. That's cool. How to paint like a cool reptilian eye. Highlights, shadows. This is how to paint lenses and glasses. So this is a nice little condensed book. His selection of colors. So he's got all of these colors. That's pretty much all he used. Oh, those are the essential colors. I got it. Oh, for wood, metal. That's true. And there's a recipe cards you download from their site. So everybody can go to redgrassgames.com/stories. Cool. All right. That came with this palette that I'm about to show you. Hold on. It comes in this box. Wait, make sure I don't have So this is the newest palette that they have, and here's the setup and care thing if you want to look at that. Let's see. It used to have here on the side, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, wet palette, usable, reusable hydration membranes. That's the, like, you know, palette paper, and then 2 hydration foam pads. So these are the hydration foam pads. I did get 2, and it looks like I've got several packs of these. There should be 15. Yep, there's several packs of the reuse. Oh, sorry, this is the reusable paper. This is the new stuff. I've not really worked with it that much, but it's nice that you can. Okay, and then wait, is there a sticker? Ah, sticker. Nice. Haha. I'll have to put that somewhere. All right, here's the palette. Let's see if we can back this up so you can see a little better. Wait, I might have to tighten this a little bit. Give me a second. All right, there we go. Okay, so this, let's see what happens when I open this. This is nice. It's a little bigger than my last palette. Here, let me show you the difference. This is my last palette. So it's not as big as the big artist palette, but it's just a little bigger, which I like that. That's nice. And it feels like it's a lot more airtight. Yeah, for sure. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I don't know if I told you this, but this had water in it, and it's been sitting in here. Look at that. 0 mold since the last time I opened this. That's amazing. That's like, for me, for somebody who like forgets stuff like this. And look, so this is still good. I can still reuse this piece. All right, so got some water in there. Let's use some more water. Just a little bit. Okay. Get this hydration sponge hydrated. I like to give it a little squeeze. Oh, see, it's not even wet on the other side. Let's give this a squeeze to hydrate it. I'm so impressed that it's that it didn't mold, and it's been in there for a few weeks. Okay, you might need a little bit more. What do you think so far, Bat?
That's really looking good.
Yeah.
I'm impressed with the fact that you haven't got mold running around there.
I know. That was a big surprise. All right, so this has 2 sides. I don't know if you can see. It says miniature painting, patent pending, everlasting wet palette. So that goes face down. And it doesn't need to be wet. It just happens to be wet because it's been sitting in there for so long, but it's okay. I'm just going to blot it with a little paper. And see how it works. That's nice.
So far, it's impressive.
Yeah. All right, we can set that all aside. Let's try some paint. So I will tell you in advance that the paints that I use, Procryl, really aren't designed for wet palettes. They're really already thin, and so when they sit on a wet palette for a long time, they get over, kind of, they soak up the water and they get even thinner really fast, which is going to be fine for what we're going to do today, because we're going to be doing lots of little glazes with Jesse. Chaos Angel says, a little late typing this, but if you coat the wavy with the Never Wet by Rust-Oleum, it won't stick as bad. You can just peel it out when it dries. Ooh. Thank you, Chaos Angel. I'm going to do that. Let me write that down or I'm going to forget. Hold on a second. I really want to write that down. Hold on one second. little to-do pad so I can write down "Buy some Never Wet" by Rust-Oleum. I didn't even know you could peel that out. That's cool. I'll do that for sure. So let me just show you real quick. So these, I believe, slide on like this, so that way they don't come off. And there's one on every side. So if you need to move things around for however your desk configuration is, you can. Let's see, how's that going to go in there? There. So then, when you need your... There. Oh, that's... This one is a new bottle. This one is a little bit older. It's a little more wiggly, but just put a little stick tack in there. Just a little bit, and there we go. We've got some of the new stick tack from Redgrass games even. This is pretty sticky. Just put a smidge of that in there. Wait, I'm going to put it on the side so it's there. Oh yeah. Look at that. That's really nice. This one isn't going anywhere. I'll never spill that if that's really attached there. That's good. And I imagine the newer bottles are all like that one. Okay, that's exciting. Okay, I'm going to keep that just in case I need that, because I like that. And I'm going to get rid of this for now, because I want to wait till I get Rust-Oleum. Thank you, Chaos Angel. You rock. By the way, if you have any suggestions or comments or anything, please feel free to, contribute in the chat, because people at home cannot read. There's nothing scrolling on my screen, so people won't be able to see what you're saying. All right. That looks good. Okay, everybody can see what I'm doing. I can see what I'm doing. Let's try mixing some colors. I've got, unfortunately, I'm going to switch music real quick. Let's see, let's go. That's nice. That's pretty quiet. Let me turn the volume down just a skosh. Okay. So the pictures that I found of Jesse Owens that are in color are when he's in his 70s and 80s, unfortunately, because he was very young when he won these Olympic gold medals. And that was in the, I believe, 30s. Might even been in the 20s. So I did not have any color pictures of his skin tone until I started looking at older pictures. This is the best picture that I have. This is really good. However, he's in bright sunlight, and the lighting is a little bit of an issue. And so I also have this one, which is very nice as well. So I think I'm going to use the skin tones from this picture and then use the details from this one. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Also, this one printed out really peachy. It's almost the same color as this background here, and that's maybe not as accurate as this photo here. So so this is how I figure out what I'm going to do. I look at each color on the photo, and so I definitely see we've got some blacks. We've already got blacks on with the primer. Then we've got a dark brown. Let's see, I do have dark umber. I'm just going to put these in a row from dark to light. There we go. Just trying to help. Yeah, no, that's a huge help. Thank you, Chaos. Use that trick on your dry palette for a while now. That's awesome. Oh, that's a good idea. I can put it on my dry palette as well. Where did my to-do list go? I'm going to put, because I have a dry palette as well. And dry palette. I never get around to cleaning stuff off, so if I could just peel it up, that would be amazing. Okay, so I've got my dark brown. Now we've got a reddish brown, so I'm going to use this called Dark Flesh. And I'm going to put this over here. And then we're getting into, there's sort of a dark peachy color here, and then there's a umber color here, another like a light umber. Here's my light umber. There's light umber. That's nice. I'm probably going to use a lot of that, so I'm going to put some more of that. And then let's put all these on my desk so I can get them to easily. Dark umber. There we go. So dark umber, dark flesh, light umber. And then we need the dark, this one is called shadow flesh. So you can see that's kind of in that peachier tone here. Oh, let's see. And then for these highlights, there's small highlights here. I think I'm going to pick ivories potentially. Let's look at, yeah, we'll just choose ivories. There we go. There's ivory. Oop, I forgot to put my shadow flesh on here. Put that over here. Okay, that's probably it. Because these photos don't give me a lot, I don't have a lot of nuances. Oh, one other thing I like to do, this is nice. This is Pure Black by Instar. I can use that later to glaze in some shadows because it's actually really nice and thin. I also have my transparent black and my transparent brown, which we'll use to get more of that skin tone texture. You'll see what I mean when I use it, and you can see it on the other videos of the other models that I've done. In fact, let me show you the other models I've done. Hold on a second, I'll be right back. Okay, so I did start a little playlist for these 3 models because you can get them together with a set. Look at how, I'm sorry, I'm just so happy with how they turned out. Look at this. So this is Joe Lewis, this is Jackie Robinson, and then back here, Jesse Owens will be on the top there. And so like I said, I have a playlist on YouTube, so if you want to see these guys, Jesse and Joe's skin tones are going to be pretty similar. And then I also have a bust by Blackheart. This is Nichelle Nichols, but actually Lieutenant Uhura is what the bust is called. But I worked on her. Doesn't that look so much better, Bachelor, than when I finished her on the stream?
It certainly does. Way better.
Yeah, I worked on her some more because she wasn't to the level where I felt like Joe is. Look at this. Joe is just looks like he's going to walk away. And I just love him. And I wanted her to be as good because he just puts the way she used to look to shame because now she looks much better.
Yeah, she was a little bit flat before.
Very, yeah. And I got to, push out the highlights and everything and smooth all of the excessive marks. Because the thing is, when you're painting a woman's skin, you don't want much texture because it makes them look old. Whereas with the man's skin, you can have a lot more texture and get away with a lot more lines. He doesn't look bad that way. Okay. Let me see. I got to be careful because this is Joe from 1930 something. He won these medals during Nazi Germany, and this is Joe in the 70s or 80s. So I don't want to make him look old by accident. All right, I'm gonna get a good brush. This is a Monument 3. It doesn't really matter to me what size the brush is right now. I want it relatively big because I'm going to be covering a lot of surface area. I need to look up a picture. So the problem why I didn't use the original picture that this was probably sculpted from is because it was most likely a black and white photo and colorized. But I can look up a colorized photo and at least choose to figure out how the uniform and everything is going to look and the ribbons. All right, so let's see. Let's type in Jesse Owens. Gold medals. Hopefully we can find a picture of him wearing the gold medals. Maybe. That wasn't helpful. Let's just type in Jesse Owens and see what happens. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Okay. Oh, wow. So he has some, yeah, so this looks like extra ribbons, but I think, wait, that is a ribbon. There were actually these stripes that he wore. I found something. Yeah, there was a blue stripe on the bottom and a red stripe on the top. This just says USA. I don't know if I have, okay. I found a picture of him wearing a red sweatshirt with USA on it. That makes sense. I bet that's what that's from, because this looks more like a sweatshirt than one of those tank tops. What do you call the tank tops in the UK? You don't call them tank tops, do you?
It's running vest, whatever.
Ah, yeah. Running vest. Okay, so we'll do that. We'll use this. And so we'll do red with the white lettering. I'm going to paint his shirt first, I think. Yeah. So, this is how I'm going to do this. Well, you know what? I'm not going to paint his shirt first because I want to get the skin tone down. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some of my umber here. See how I can thin this out? And you can see the palette through the paint. Or, yeah, you can see the palette through the paint.
Oh.
Alright. And then I can glaze this all over. I need to make sure to look at his picture just a second. There we go.
It's a lot more detail in this one than...
I think so. I feel like this one, yeah, it is. And look at, there's like a vein in his forehead even. Oh, because I see they're taking it right off the photo. Interesting. There is a vein in his forehead in the photos that I'm looking at. And you see how fast I'm moving? That's because I don't want there to be a solid line wherever. And I'm just letting this be kind of translucent over the primer right now. But I gotta move fast. Like I said, I don't want it to dry and have there be a line. I could put some drying retarder in it, but I'm worried because if I did that, a lot of times drying retarder will reactivate later. And then then I can't do my glazes like I want because it'll be constantly reactivating. We can go ahead and paint right over that eye. So like this is kind of like the equivalent of doing the colorized photos, right? We're just adding a tint to the black and white. And that's something you can do at home if you want to. If you don't want to do fancy schmancy skin tones, you can do this. Do the black and white primer. And make sure your highlights are nice and high. And then you can just tint it like this and make your own kind of colorized black and white photo of Jesse. I like to give people options.
Yeah, it's actually not a bad option for me.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I'm gonna go back and do another quick layer. Now the thing is, if I keep messing with it, see this bloom? That's called a bloom, where there's a nice crunchy line right across his face. I gotta come back in and smooth that out. Push the water into the hairline, into the crevices. All right. I'm just trying to get things relatively smooth now. Having a good canvas to start with is really important, having a nice smooth prime. Okay, let's push that into the hairline. So because it's so thin, it dries pretty quick. But we can also go and run and get the hair dryer if we want as well. All right, Bachelor, if you see questions in the chat, can you just tell me? And that way people can interact a little better. It's so much easier for me than I'm trying to pay attention to chat while I'm painting.
Yes.
Good, good. All right, there's some bubbles for whatever reason in this. I think it's in my water. Okay, I'm going to
Do you just use standard tap water, or do you use the ionizer?
I have, well, to be truthful, I just use tap water, but I should probably use distilled water because that will mold even less. You know, and for anybody who's a brush licker, you really don't want to be licking anything with tap water like that, like from your brush, because you're going to transfer all kinds of germs to your water. Okay, I'm going to mute for a sec. I'm going to have you mute as well, and then I'm going to hair dry him so he's bone dry. Give me a second here. Oh, I guess if I mute the desktop, it won't matter whether you're muted or not. But that's fine. We'll just keep this. We'll do this. All right, hold on. Okay, I am not muted anymore. You can unmute as well. Okay, let's see. So we've got our first glaze. Let me put my overhead camera back on, and you can see he's looking a little thin there. His tones are very thin, but we can do another glaze here. Now I'm going to start building up these peaches here. This is a lot of underpainting at first, right? So I'm going to grab this peach color, which is called Dark Flesh. I'm going to mix it with a little bit of this brown, so it's not completely peachy. And I'm just going to do the same thing I did with that first glaze, just like this. See how thin that is? And like I said, I'm just moving very quickly. This is over the model.
Pretty much as you were saying, you're just tinting it rather than...
Right. Underpainting it, though. I have a feeling just by the way this is going on so nice, this is going to be painting up really fast. There's a name for this style of painting, and it's called, oh my goodness, I can't remember. It starts with a G. I want to say it's like, it's not just glazing though, I can't remember. But it's not a thing I invented. It's something old Renaissance. It's an old Renaissance technique. I'll have to figure out what it's called so you guys can look it up.
See, Chaos Angel just joined you.
Just did what?
Joined your Discord.
Oh, yay! Thank you, Chaos. Awesome. Yes, by the way, if you want to join Discord and join my Patreon, that's how you get in the Discord, is you join the Patreon. You'll be able to get updates on my models that I'm putting out. All right, so now he's looking really peachy. Let's see. Let's keep doing this.
That was interesting what you were saying about the peach in the background of that photo that you were using as a reference. I never kind of figured on the background actually
It makes a difference when
affecting the colours on the actual
yeah,
image, which is a really useful piece of information.
it's really true. Colors really do affect everything. There's a lot of blue in the background of this one, so blue actually counteracts peach. So he's actually looking a lot more umber in this because his shadows are mixing with that blue light, whereas there's a lot of bright light in this. But also, he's like if we were cutting him out, he would still look peachy. But this having this around him, it kind of distorts and makes him look even more peachy. That makes sense. Okay, now they're getting good. I'm gonna grab some more of this peach color. Ears can have a little bit more peach on them because there's capillaries. I talk about this a lot. Same for the end of a nose. And end of a nose can have, I think, oh shoot, there's a little piece of lint or something on the end of his nose. Yeah, it was like a little tiny piece of lint. So now I have to go back in and touch it up. Oh, I still see it. Dang it. I'm trying not to damage anything. I'm just going to leave it. Let it dry. Okay, so that's looking good. Now, make sure. Let's go ahead and start putting in. I'm going to switch back to my references.
Tend to mess too much and not leave things alone to dry and stuff.
Agreed.
And it unravels real quick.
Yep, exactly. So here, I'm just going to start. Now, it's okay if I put this here because it may not actually be this color, but I know that my darkest color is going to be there. So I can cover it up and have that kind of have a red tint to it underneath. So I'm just blending this now into the rest of his face, wherever that was. Okay, so we need to get rid of these hard lines because they'll be harder to get rid of later. So I'm just blending them in, thinning them out with a feathery. This is the kind of brush stroke that I use. It's kind of like this. See how it gets thinner and thinner? You start out with heavy and then you're like a mop. See how it gets thinner? That's how I'm blending things out. Let me hold this up. See that? Glazed it out from thick to thin. So let's keep going with this red. I need to go back to my picture.
You're pretty much just pulling the color across the mini then.
Yes. Now here, I don't really know because the photograph that I have is different, but I know from painting faces and drawing faces for so long that the shadows areas are around the face, right? In the crevices, in the sockets of the eyes. That's where a lot of my shadows start, so we can shade those down now and then highlight up later.
You're a little bit high on the
Sorry, there you go. That's easier for me to see too. Need more water. So I'll put down a thick thing of red, rinse my brush so that it's just water, and then I'll thin it out and glaze it over the other parts. Put that inside his ear. And again, be looking for those lines. I don't want those lines on his face. See, that's a little too red, so I can brush that out. You can see how that looks. There's a little bit of, I'm going to add a little bit of this umber down here because I can see some primer shining through.
You're drifting upwards again.
Say what? Oh, I'm drifting up. Let me
Smooth the camera slightly.
pull my desk toward me. That'll help a lot. There. Now I have something to lean on. Is that better? That's too far down now. Is All right, I'm adding some peach because you can kind of see there's a little texture on his nose here. I got to smooth out. Okay, so now I'm looking. Is there places where I can smooth out with the next color? Let's add some more of this light umber in the shadows. Notice I'm leaving the front of the forehead mostly without painting it. All I'm doing is kind of thinly smoothing over it because I want that area light, right? I think, do you see how this looks right here? This looks like his natural skin tone to me. That looks really good. So we have the pink underneath, and then we brush this brown back over the top of it, and it looks really natural. Let's add some more pink then.
You're also using pigments in place of light as well for the contrast in that as well.
Right. Oops. That's a little too pink. Thin that out. This is going to paint super fast. I can already tell. I'm grabbing some of this red again. Let's see. I need to look at his face. He's got these lines. Now again, on a woman, you don't want these to be super deep. Here we go. I need paper towel in front of me because I do quite a lot of blotting to control the amount of water that's in my brush. All right, now I grab this umber color again, and now I can feather that into that red, right? So I can get rid of those lines. There we go. That looks good. He's cool. I like him. He's going to turn out really well, I can tell. Add a little bit more of this peachy color to his cheeks because there's more capillaries in cheeks and in the end of the nose. I'm going to add a thin glaze of this dark red. I'm going to thin it out and see what happens when on the bottom of his nose down here. Give that a little shadow. And then I can feather this peach into it. Yeah, that looks really nice and real. Oh, see this over here? That's where the paint is drying unevenly, so we need to come back with a little paint and smooth it. That happens when you're using a lot of wet colors. All right, so now he's drying really well. That would be, this is what I think, this is his base color, don't you think? This is what I would say is his base skin tone, and then we can do some highlighting after that and some shading. Let's see what happens. I'm going to mix a little bit of this dark umber with this dark red. So when I paint eyes, I'm going to come in here and paint like most... Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's amazing how quick transformation can take place from
I know.
from your undercoat up to where you actually got something that's looking more and more like
A
your
person, yeah, the skin.
That's good.
Now I'm just coming in with that dark color in his eye socket to give that shadow. Look at, see, this is like contouring. You can watch contouring videos with makeup online. There's literally tons and tons of them. And this is basically what they do. They'll contour. He's got a few crow's feet. Smile lines. Dabbing that and then come back in here. Let that dry because we're going to come back and highlight that again later. And I'm going to do some shading underneath his nose. And then right here under this. I just found another spot on his chin that's needing to be covered. We can add that umber. There we go. Okay, I'm just going to take a little umber, go into some of these recesses. And I don't want to make any of these recesses on his face too strong. Just a hint and a suggestion because he's not 80. He's only, I don't even know how old he is, but he's not that old in this bust. Do you want to Google for me and find out how old he was when he won the Olympics? That would be good. I'm going to grab some transparent black and go into his so nostrils and the insides of ears and a little bit on the corners of the mouths. That's where I like to put a little bit of transparent black so we can get those really deep shadows.
The Olympics that he won were in
19 when?
1936.
Okay, so and how old was he? He was born in 19. I can't remember what this. 1913.
1913.
Yeah.
1913.
So if 36, so he was. I can't math.
So he was what, 20?
Yeah, he was young.
25.
Okay. I'm just going in here again with my transparent black to paint his eyelids. There's little creases here for his eyelids. And I would paint his eyes right now, but they are still wet and they're just going to end up a blob if I go any more. Let's do the other ear. That does look nice. And then the nostrils in here. Not really necessary to paint those because you can't really see them, but I like to make sure, like if you're looking at any angle, that you can see everything's been painted. I don't want to have pieces of yeah, that looks really good. Okay, I'm letting that dry. Let's go with a little transparent black on his eyebrows because those are sculpted in really nice, and the transparent black is perfect because his eyebrows in real life are not really that dark. And most of the pictures that I'm looking at, he's got pretty light eyebrows. But this transparent will kind of go into the recesses. That looks good. Good. All right, I'm going to paint his teeth next. All right. This, I don't have a good picture of him smiling that's in color, so I'm making this up. I'm going to choose a little bit of black, a little bit of this dark red, and a little bit of this peach to make this kind of, well, more peach. It's going to be like a gray peach, right? And that's going to be his gum color. He's got a little bit of a gum line showing there. It looks really good. like that. And then I'm going to mix a little bit more red off to the side here and paint his top lip. Need a little bit more red. Yeah, I might have to redo that. And then his bottom lip's going to be lighter, so I'm just going to just use the peach. And I'm going to have to go back over that too. That's really too light. So I'm going to go in here with some umber, and on the edges of this, shade this down under, especially under the teeth, because he's going to have he's got a tiny bit of an overbite. And so I want to make sure that the part that's getting light is light. There we go. That looks good. That doesn't look too out of place. All right, so now for teeth, I am just going to use some ivory and some gray mixed in, so it's not like so bright, right? I don't want a bright toothy color because that's a little jarring. I'm just going to come in here on the side. I'm going to take a little bit more gray.
I tend to see a lot of miniatures where
I know people don't
people
really
have gone in and used a really bright white on the teeth.
It just doesn't look good. Teeth are porous, and they're also, because they're porous, they're also a little transparent, which means that they're not usually solid color, right? All right, so I'm just going to paint all of the teeth the same kind of grayed out desaturated ivory that I started with. And I'm not going to try to paint the spaces in between the teeth just yet, because I really think that can look really there. I think that just needs to dry. And then we can come back with a little bit more ivory and start highlighting those teeth on the bottoms of the teeth. See how that looks already more natural? Yeah, I'm not going to go ahead and highlight every single one of them because I want it to look brighter in front, because it's like it's a dome, right? So same thing with the eyes. That looks really good. I'm going to give, where's my black? This is my, actually I'm going to grab coal black from my monument, if I can find it. That's dark warm gray, dark neutral gray. Ooh. Yeah, let's use this. I'm going to use the dark neutral gray because it's really dark, but it's not so dark. All right, a little water. And I'll paint the inside of the eyeball. Ooh, I do need some black. I'm going to add a little transparent black to that. Just going to go straight to black and see what happens. There we go. Well, that looks good. I like that. Okay. Letting that dry. I just found a little spot where it was. There we go. All right, now I'm going to look at my highlights from some of the pictures that I have. I'm going to pick out some ivory, and I'm going to pick out this light umber and ivory mixed together to make a even lighter umber. And some of the pictures I have, he has like a little, like a vein in his forehead. I'm not going to touch that just yet, but I'm going to go ahead and start popping in some of these highlights. And again, smooth them out with the brush. I knew that Joe was going to be the hardest because he's got the least amount of references, but I guess we can make up some of it. Now, I'm highlighting up, but I'm going to end up shading him back down. This is like 2 steps up, 1 step down. So first I'm putting in this highlight, trying to keep the volumes of his face. The raised parts are going to have.
So your 1 step down is more like a glaze.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Get some of these little highlights here. So we're defining the volumes, but like I said, I'm making them up. So now here I go back in with the peachy color again and some of that umber. Right? I can add some more dark to the side of his face here. That really helps define the volume as well. Just increasing contrast slowly. In the temple here, and then I can, so because we went up so high with this, I can take some of this and just, with water, smooth that right over that.
It's a massive change real quick.
Yeah. Same thing I need to do on the front. Ooh. He's looking good. All right, let me go back over his eye again. Those lighter colors get real chalky really quick. We had that problem with Joe Lewis a little bit, and we had to go back and glaze. We'll be using some of this with it. Okay, I can see he's gonna look really nice. Let me find that picture of him with the sweatshirt real quick. There we go. This is close enough. So he has a wax dummy, and the wax dummy is actually really nice. Some pictures of it look really waxy, but I found a picture that he actually looks pretty human because the lighting looks actually real. I'm going to add some more rose color here. Just lighten that up.
The wax dummies and that are pretty much like a lot of artwork they're meant to. They're not
Yeah.
meant to be seen as a photograph close up. They're supposed to do that
Yeah.
from a bit of a distance.
Yeah, that makes sense. And that's kind of the same thing as these busts too, right?
Mm.
All right, I'm going to give him some more rosiness on these sides of his cheeks. And I'm going to blend that down. And then blend it back up here too, so it's thinner up there. Okay.
And Matthew Carpenter join us.
Oh, good. Does he want to join us?
No, yes, he's
Oh, bonsoir. Hello, Mathieu. Welcome. All right.
I don't do the accents.
That's okay. It looks like he might be either French or French Canadian. All right, I'm gonna paint the eyes now. I'm gonna add I'm gonna take this light blue and mix it with this pink to get a gray. It'll be an interesting gray color, actually. So we mix a little bit of this and a little the blue and the yeah, there we go. The blue and the peach kind of cancel each other out and make a gray. I'm going to add a little ivory to it so it's an off-white. We never want to add a straight, really, really light color to the eyes. Okay, so now I'm going to add just a little bit more peach. Okay. Now, because this is a sphere, the edges of the eyeball don't have to be 100% bright. Let's get that. We have to treat this like we're painting it like a sphere. Oh, I just found another piece of lint. Oh no, can I push that into his eye so I don't see that? There we go. Okay, I'm going to go back in with the ivory again and highlight these teeth.
You do that thing with the eyes where you go over with the pseudo white.
Right, I do.
You leaving like a...
Like it's gray, but then it gets lighter and lighter as you get more toward the front.
Yeah.
It's like I highlight it like it's like that, yeah. Okay, I'm going to take some of this brown. I'm just curious what happens if I go between the teeth a little bit more. Yeah, that looks good to me. That looks nice. All right, again, I'm going to go back with the ivory. Now we've got more almost pure ivory, and we're going to go in the center of this sphere so that it looks like it's more rounded out and highlighted. And just blend it in. Okay, and then the other thing I want to do, there's a little thing in the corner of an eye. I'm going to make that pink. So I want him to look like he's got a realistic tear duct. There we go. That's a little bit bright. Take this and go along the water line, which is the bottom of the eye. You don't want to do it on the top, though. There we go. That adds a lot of realism. I'm gonna get a little bit more black. Alright, it's time to paint his hair. I do need to find my coal black this time. There it is. Let's try this now. I'm gonna use like a more of a synthetic brush to put it on because his hair is really textured, and I don't want to use my nice expensive brushes because anytime you paint anything with a lot of texture, you want to use a
stripping the bristles.
Right, you don't want to use a natural hair brush. But this way, also you can get into the details with the hair. Feel free to ask questions in chat if anybody is still here watching.
Yeah.
Good, good.
5 or 6 people.
Yay, that's awesome, especially for a completely unplanned stream. I really appreciate you guys coming over. I'm going to be doing public streams quite a bit more on YouTube here. And if you subscribe, you'll be able to get those notifications when I go live. And that goes for anybody back watching the VOD back as well, if you would like to watch when I go live. Because I'll be doing a monthly stream now on my YouTube channel. All right, watch what happens. The reason why I didn't want to go any further is when we paint the hair, everything changes. All of the other contrasts change. Need more paint. There we go. Some painters say they don't like to paint the eyes until the very last part because it really does kind of give the model life, and for some people it's a little distracting when they're painting and the model is like looking at them. But I like to paint it because of that. I like to see my model kind of come alive under my hands like that. All right, look at that. See what a difference that made? Isn't that wild? Does it look different to you?
It does. It makes a massive difference. I just get amazed at even just by when you get the hair, the difference that it actually makes as you build the model up.
Yeah. All right, now I'm looking to see here. I found a good picture of him.
The eyes always have a mess in them.
Yeah. Okay, found a really good picture of him. Looks like he was running for Ohio. And he's with Ralph Metcalf. This is a really good picture of him. Okay, I'm going to just paint his eyes and hope I get this right. Again, I'm making this up mostly. Whoops, where's my... Okay. Now I just make a semicircle. Make sure the upper lid is covering some of the semicircle, but the bottom half of the iris is resting on the bottom lid. And now I'm going to flip him upside down to make sure that it's round looking. Okay. Give a little lash line in here.
I never know what to do with
Oh my gosh, that looks so good. Well, it's just sometimes you got to take it from model to model, and I always find that painting eyes upside down helps me to really like get them right. And if you really want to not have to worry as much about eyes, paint them looking off to the side. Now, a bust like this, I want him to look forward because he just won Olympic medals, right? He wouldn't be looking off to the side. All right, that's messed up. I don't know. Hold on a second. I gotta fix a little bit. Because I'm right-handed, the left eye is always harder for me. Maybe I should just paint the left eye first from now on. Because then I can match the right eye, because I'm much better at painting right eyes. Alright, that's not bad. It's a little big. Let's make this one a little bigger.
That was one of the things that was hard for me. First I was learning to move the mini instead of
Right.
moving my brush angle.
Alright, I'm going to take some of this brown here. painting the color part of the iris. Oh, he's so pretty. I love him. That looks natural, doesn't it?
It does. Very
Okay.
much so.
Now I'm going to give him a pupil, even though it's going to be difficult to see from a distance. I like it because it's a little bit more realism. Sometimes you have to work with the sculpt a little bit. Sometimes the sculpt is a little, yeah, I think the sculpt is just a smidge wonky on this one. Well, actually, that doesn't bother me. Now I can come in with the white, or the ivory rather, and just make the edges of the thing a little brighter here. Clean up the edges of my iris a little bit too. Yeah, that looks nice. Okay, and then we're going to do the little highlight, and I like to use white for that ding highlight, where I wouldn't use it on the eyeball, because even the eyeball is translucent and it's not going to have white. Here we go, bold titanium white. The reflection dots are a different matter. I always make those white. Okay, here we go. We don't need much. Okay. Grab a tiny bit, make sure my brush is pointy. And I'm going to do one bigger dot and a smaller one on the other side. Like that, it makes it nice and shiny. Look at that. He just came alive, didn't he? I'm going to give a little highlight to the teeth here. I like him. Alright, and then I like to use a gloss. Here is my triple thick, brilliant brush on gloss glaze. I always like saying gloss glaze. And I put this on the eyes after it's dry. Just on the sclera right there. Look at that. Look at that. And then on the teeth too, because teeth are also wet. Just that, look what that did. That's just insane how cool that is. He looks so happy he won these medals.
Wow. It was a massive achievement.
It really was. It really was. And if you get a chance, there's a movie based on his life that I really enjoyed. I don't know if it's super accurate, but it's, you know, fictionalized, whatever, because the movie is still really good. All right, now this is my magic skin tone stuff. I use this for all my skin tones except for if you're painting an ultra pale one. And I'm going to take, but for brown skins especially, see how I thin this out? Can you guys see that? It's really thin. It's mostly water. I'm going to start at the darkest point. Add more if I need it. Uh-oh, did I get some gloss glaze in there? I think I did. It's okay. I'm just going to go around the darkest areas of his face and then thin it out into the middle as I go here. There's something about the quality of this paint that blends your eye with all the other tones and makes it look really realistic.
You're using that in a similar way to
Yes.
something like Nullen Oil or something like that.
Yes, but it doesn't quite work the same. It's more like an ink, but it's a transparent paint, so you can see all the colors that you've already done. Right? See, look at that. Look how lovely. get some in the eyes here. This is the part of the painting that I really feel makes the skin look like actual skin, because it gives it some texture, but it also just gives it that translucent quality skin has. Okay, so that's dark, so this needs to be thinned. And if I want to do another layer on here to shade that some more, I can, but I can also come back and highlight. Ooh, so that's a lot. I want to smooth that. So I still don't have my highest highlights yet. Let's get this here. And I might have to do several layers of this to get this right. Does anybody have any questions in chat?
No, there's 6 people watching.
Okay.
Not much talking.
Oh, I realized like I missed some on the back of his ear here.
You'd never miss anything on the back, surely.
Never. Okay. Now, while that's drying, I can go back in with my highlights a little bit. Again, mix a little bit of a... This is still a little bit on the dark side because he's a lighter. Okay. So, I'm gonna
Have you got yourself a bigger desk, sure?
No, it's the same.
I was just wondering because you're not using the big desk.
Oh, okay. Right, the floor desk. Alright, I'm feathering this highlight out a little bit. So you just kind of get it, go back and forth with it until you get it how you want it. See, like that. And then he's got a bright highlight right here. I'm kind of looking at how does the overhead light hit this model? And where is the highlight going to be? It's going to be right there, going to be right there.
Do you kind of, when you've got like the 3 busts and they're all going on, and will you adjust it afterwards for the lighting would be off, or are you doing them as individual models?
Yeah, individually right now. He's got a highlight on his chin. Let's see. So I'm kind of like deciding that my light's coming from this side, I think. Kind of just making that decision as I'm going. Now I have to be honest, since I don't have a good reference, I'm making things up. I'm using my knowledge as a painter and somebody who's done portraiture and makeup.
But surely a lot of it in any case.
Yeah, once you've learned a certain amount, you can do this. Okay, I'm gonna get this. This is my red here. It's just a little bit. Let's go back here to do some more.
If someone wasn't okay with doing stuff the way that you do artistically, would doing a zenithal on it.
Yeah, that's probably
that would be an easier option, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So this highlight on his nose, I'm not sure about yet. It needs to be almost brighter. And then I'm going to glaze it back with this umber. Let's see what happens. Ooh, that worked. Look at that. Just that little whoop, and I'm not going to touch it. It just tinted it, but it still looks like it's there. I like that. Okay, I'm going to do that again with some of these other highlights. I'm going to do some stippling, which is tiny little dots, so that I don't have my hard lines anywhere. Like that. Okay, so that has to be dry, and then I can take some of this umber again and just do a little thin glaze over the top of that. I like that. Yay! Okay, now. Let's do that to be a little bit thinner. I know it looks weird right now, but just wait. I know, it's a little too much. Okay. Kind of just hit it with my fingers so there's not a lot of...
I wasn't chuckling at the it was too much or anything like that. It's generally you do that and then you pull it back and it's kind of like yeah.
Okay, so the one thing again that I'm really missing from him, I need to look at his wax bust because that's the closest thing I have to having a front-facing picture. There is a little bit of a highlight in this very, very pale peach on his lips. And there's another one right here. I like that. And then another smaller. We're going to go ahead and knock that one back down again. I'll knock that down in a second. He's looking good. I can see him now. You can see, you know what I mean? Like when you just look away and then you look back and they're like, there he is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, now we're going to go back and glaze with the umber on the chin. There we go. An eye. Okay, now I'm going to take my glasses for a second. I'm going to put them on and look at him from a distance so I can see how he's looking. Looks good. I think he looks good. I need to fix some things. Just to smooth. Just a little bit. Okay. I'm really happy with him. He's pretty. All right, now before I finish here, I'm gonna take just a touch of this burgundy because in the picture he looks like he just ran a marathon, right? He did. So I'm gonna give him some rosy on the cheekbones here, just a smidge.
Magenta be too.
Yeah, magenta's too dark. I need it to look like a transparent rosy. Just like he ran a marathon. It's gonna make him really feel more alive too. So he doesn't look like a wax guy. Put a little bit on his lips. Let me look again. Okay, I'm gonna give some highlights on his neck because he would have a little sheen from sweating. You can smooth that in with some umber. I like it. And I'm going to put just a little bit of this rosy up in here as well. And on the ears, because ears always have lots of blood vessels going through them. Actually, his ears need highlighting. Let me get some lighter color here going. That's good. One thing that I'm noticing, maybe because he was so young, he didn't have a lot of facial hair. And even when he's older, he has a tiny little mustache. I don't think he needs to have much 5 o'clock shadow or anything, but I'm going to see what happens when I put just a little bit of that blue black. Let's see what happens. And I can take it off if I don't like it. Where's the blue black? Hold on. Here it is. Blue black. Just going to put the smallest amount of this in a little glaze underneath his chin where there's shadow, just to give it a little different tone. Thin that out before it dries. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. That little bit of blue. I like it. You can get away with it, especially on men's faces, especially in the beard line, because that color is already, there because of the hair. And even though he doesn't have a lot of facial hair, this kind of helps me shade without making it too dark again. There we go. Can you see that? What that did? It's very subtle. Okay. He's looking like a person. Alrighty, now. I'm just going to look at my eye dots real quick. That's more like it. And I think I'm going to start painting his red sweatshirt. So let me look at that. There we go. Yep. I will start out with this mahogany to get all of the shades in first. I'm going to use this flat brush here, and in any of these little creases, I'm going to get this mahogany into those creases. Red is a pretty transparent color, so you know what, I want to make the metals this mahogany too, because that actually will look really good. We can make all
that as a base for the gold.
Yes, exactly. Can't seem to get paint into there. There we go. Again, this is a very textured spot on the model, so I don't want to use a a natural hair brush. It even says 1936 Berlin Olympics on his medal. That's detail. So by painting my shadows first, then I can come back over this. It's like the opposite of what we did on his face. We painted all the highlights and then shaded down around it. Alright, there we go. And I'm going to go in here. So I can get, let me get a thinner brush. There is some, it looks like there's a mold line or a crack or something right there on the side of it. Hopefully that's okay. Okay. I don't have to be super detailed with this yet, because I'm going to go back over rights with the reds. I just want to make sure that it's in the crevices. Okay. By painting around the edges like that, now it's going to be easier. Oh, I forgot in here.
It's like just
Right, I can be much quicker with the rest a little bit. Alright. Okay, time to get out some burnt red. This is the next step. So because like I said, the other reds are way more transparent. The more yellow that's in your red, the more transparent it is. So this is a burnt red, which has some browns in it. And we can go up to the next level, right? And then highlight with the other red. And then I can kind of do a thin glaze over that. There we go. Oop, I just stuck my brush into the pink. All right. So the name of the owner of Blackheart Models, his name is George, and he's going to get some free cat hair with his mini, because I just spent some time picking that out. Right?
I thought you charged extra for that.
I know, I should, because I don't want people cloning my cat. Alright, that's getting better. Look at how much that changes the face. Isn't that crazy?
It's about those reflective colors.
Yep. All right, I'm going to flip him upside down. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm hoping this will work. I'm going to cover his face with some silly putty because I do not want to mess him up. And I am really sloppy. And I will probably get paint on him if I don't be careful. So this is what I like to do. I like to get some silly putty from the dollar store. And it sticks to itself. It really won't stick to the model. I got to be careful about the hair. It might stick to the hair because the hair is textured so much. Okay. Get it off the collar. Okay. Now I can paint without fear. Is that what you do when I'm painting and I say, are you laughing at me when when I'm just...
I never laugh at anyone. So.
When I'm amusing myself with my own voice?
Pretty much. So one never laugh at somebody to laugh with.
Yes. Alright, there we go. Oops, I don't want to paint that. That's okay.
It's a very busy front of that one.
Yeah, and in fact, I was just thinking about how he's wearing red and everybody else, you know, like Joe's not wearing anything. Because he's a boxer, he doesn't wear a shirt. And how Jesse's got a white shirt and this red is just going to draw your eye. So I'm thinking we'll see what it looks like with the three of them. It could be fine though. I mean,
because he's higher than the others.
Right.
It's too much of an issue.
Yeah.
Even if your eyes drawn to that, you're still drawn to the...
And to be honest, I'd be worried actually about him kind of getting lost with the other two. And I think the red's actually going to make him more of a focal point than he would have been. See that? Some mistakes here.
I saw a couple of these painted as if they are online, and I prefer the more realistic painting because I think on the bronzes they not that they weren't painted absolutely brilliantly and expertly.
Yeah.
But I just don't think they were as live or held as much significance as when you could see what the person looked like.
Right. So I can go off the edge a little bit because I'm going to come back and repaint the sides of him with black paint anyway. Okay. Now, I'm not sure what color those metal ribbons were. Let me see if I can't find a picture of him winning. Let's see. Here we go. Gold medal Jesse Owens. Oh, there's his jersey. How cool is that? There's no pictures. Wait. Alright, I'm going to cheat and use... Oh, I found a... I found a cheating picture I'm going to just use. It's got red, white, and blue stripes. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to go to the website. It says, did you know James Cleveland Jesse Owens was a 4-time Olympic gold medalist at the time in 1936 Berlin Olympic Games, specialized in sprints and long jumps. He tied or broke 9 Olympic records and set 3 world records. Wow, that's really cool. Okay, yeah, I'm going to use Alright, so this blue is a really royal blue. I don't use blue a lot. It's like, have you ever noticed blue is my least used color?
Uh-huh. I think most of the time I've ever seen you use it
If I have to.
yeah, and pretty much as a contrast color on clothing.
Alright, so let me look at this sweatshirt real quick. Wait. Oh, wait, there's a picture of him. Bear with me, I gotta find that. There we go. Okay, so it's blue with white trim is what it's actually this the trim on his, sorry, the red, white, and blue on his USA is a dark blue, which I like dark blue. I don't like royal blue much. Let's use that. There we go. Yeah. And I'm just going to freehand this on here. It's raised, so it's not too difficult to paint, but I just want to make sure I'm being careful. And then the blue on the ribbons is actually really bright blue. Uh-oh, here we go with my heavy metal song. Okay.
Speed up your painting.
Yeah, exactly. I really wonder if sculptors imagine this painted as they're painting it or not. Or if they sculpt in black and white. I guess the S is completely covered. Don't really see the S. I'm gonna fake it in here though, because I want it to look like it's a little bit in there. There we go. Okay, and then let me look at these. That is white, white. Hold on. I think I'm gonna get in there with the red first before the red before I paint the white, because the white is gonna get messed up if I try to. By the way, I'm really enjoying this palette paper. It's really been nice, isn't it? And I think because this paper is different than my other sheets, not as much water is getting up into the paint.
Make it better for the thinner pigment.
Yeah, for sure.
And I want to try it with insole. It just end up as a puddle.
Yeah, maybe. Well, this is the instar. Yeah, that ended up pretty watery. See how nice that is? Having that layer of that darker red under it makes it feel more like, you know, cloth. I don't know. There's a fingerprint over here, and I don't know if it's mine or the sculptor's. It's probably mine, but... Looks good. I'm going to go carefully around here. Okay, this is really looking nice.
The red's made a huge difference.
Say that again?
The red's made a huge difference.
Yes. Just that little bit. And like a lot of people find red really hard to paint, but I don't think it's hard when you use the right layers underneath it. Like this. Okay, now I'm gonna go back over here. There's this whole collar. I don't know what's going on over. He's got it like a collar underneath his sweatshirt, but I'm just gonna paint it red because I don't want to think about it too much. It's likely just another, like a t-shirt or maybe a sweat cloth, like to keep him from sweating onto his sweatshirt. That's probably what it is. Okay. That's good enough. I'll touch up his collar later. Now I just need to add a few more. Okay. All right, now let me look at these ribbons. Okay. There we go. Alrighty. So I'm going to paint the red ones first. And again, I'm going to start with this darker red. And I'm just going to eyeball, and I'm imagining splitting this each ribbon into thirds. So I'm freehanding it. This is going to take a lot of practice, and if you can't freehand it, what you can do is draw with a pencil your lines, and then color it in like a coloring book. And I wouldn't use a regular pencil. I would use a white watercolor pencil. We've done that before, remember?
Yep.
And that way it'll come off. It's also nice and soft, so it makes it really easy to draw with too.
Well, the white will just be incorporated in the acrylic paint.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that one's went over to here. And then I'm going to do my blue line, which is bright, bright blue. Which I'm not 100% sure I'm going to use this blue. I might go back to the dark blue because it might just look better with the composition. But we'll see. Actually, I kind of like it. It's nice. Feels celebratory. Okay. I really like how the sculptor chose to put these three guys in, in order. Like Joe is next to his gloves, his famous gloves. And he was, I don't know if you knew this, he was known as the Brown Bomber, and his gloves were kind of like a reddish brown. And then Jesse's at the back, at the top of the podium, kind of like he was when he won the medals. Okay, I'm really liking this blue now because it looks so nice with this red. Has anybody said anything in chat in a while?
No, man.
No, that's okay. Sometimes people like to work. They like to be at work in the background, or they like to just be chilling. Okay, that looks good. Now we'll do the next one. And I'm gonna follow that one around. I guess they're all kind of on top of each other at this point. I'm just gonna make them the same as the ones that are on this side will have blue, white, red, and the ones on that side will have red, white, blue. Okay. This part is probably, if you're just at home watching this without watching it live, it's probably pretty tedious, so it's okay to fast forward to see, because it's pretty much just me putting these lines on. That's the lovely.
One of the things,
yeah.
So one of the things I like about couldn't afford these. Can you buy them individually?
Yes, you can buy them individually.
Obviously miss out on the base. But
yeah, I really think the base is worth it too. It's so pretty. But if you buy them individually, I'm sure that if you wrote to him and asked him to buy a base separate later, you could.
Yeah.
Okay. I got everything in the front on the red. Let's do over here on this side. Yep. Okay. That's it. Now let's go with the blue again. I want to make sure there's not too much water in my paintbrush. Blue, here we go. What?
Just said someone joined.
Oh.
She said, it's good evening, Robert.
Nice. Let me see. Welcome. Let's see. Oh, oops. Ah, here we go. Robert O'Shaughnessy. Welcome. We're at the good part where we get to finish off these ribbons, and then we'll be revealing. We'll do the gold medals too, and then we'll reveal him. But yeah. We're currently painting blue stripes on Olympic medals, and I didn't even know Olympic medals were red, white, and blue. Did you? Is that just because?
I think they do it in the country colour too.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. That would be very cool. Because then you definitely know who won for what country. Alright, that looks good. Let's do this one over here. Alright, and Robert, feel free to ask questions in the chat. If you want me to reveal him a little early, I can do that as well. So you see how I just I sloppily painted that blue, but I'm going to go over the middle with white, so hopefully I can make up for it. Hopefully I can cover the white. I am worried that the white will be transparent. We'll see.
Again, wouldn't you go with something like more of an ivory?
Maybe, yeah. We'll see what happens. I could always do a gray as well.
It's still going to read as one.
Right. And I can always go white over the ivory, because it might be better that way too. Yes, that looks really nice. Finish the color back here. If it wasn't for the fact that I'm taking this to Gen Con tomorrow to give to George, I would not be painting the back. I would just let it be and then paint it later, but I need to get this done.
I was just asking if you had a major headache.
All right, let's. I think that light gray is going to be my first color, and then white, because it will be more opaque. This is called bright neutral gray. You're sitting watching me paint, and it's been a while since you've seen me. Yeah, it has. Well, we decided to do public live streams because Patreon was where I was streaming, and some people would show up, but it wasn't quite enough. So we decided we're just going to make the streaming public, and Patreon people will get first notice, and we'll just let everybody come see.
You have a question from Skywalker.
Skywalker said, first time viewer here. Do you think Pro Acryl is a good line for our realistic bust? Absolutely. I'm gonna show you a realistic bust painted entirely from Pro Acryl. Just a second. Actually, I had two of them. Actually, three of them. A whole bunch. Okay, look at this. This is Joe Lewis and Jackie Robinson that I did with all Pro Acryl. Look at that. And then here is Nichelle. Oh no, I got paint on her eyeball. See, I don't trust myself. I just did this just now. I bet you. Hold on, let me see if I can scrub this off. I think I can, but yes, because I fixed her. I put fixative on her, or maybe not. Okay. Oof. Okay. Anyway, don't do that. Oh, this is why I usually keep my busts and my paints far away from my brush after I finish them. But yeah, so in answer to your question, yes, Procryl is amazing for realism. But it's really not a different paint than any other paint. So, okay, let's use this gray. We're going to start with the gray and then we'll work our way up to white. And this is where I have to be really ticky careful. That does read as white, doesn't it? I might just leave it. Flip it. Okay. Look at how nice that A looks now. Okay, that looks really good. And now I'm going to take my S.
So you're driving to Gen Con tomorrow?
Yeah, tonight. Actually, technically I'm only driving to my hotel because I don't want to have to wake up crazy early. So I got a hotel kind of partway there. It's not that far though. I mean, I could drive all the way there if I really wanted to, but I don't want to have to get up that early. Okay. I might have to go back and forth with this a little bit. There. USA! Okay, that looks good. Now let's go with this white stripe down the middle of this. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to leave it white. Or sorry, gray, because I don't want it to draw your eye. And if I make it white, it will. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if we leave it gray, it's still going to read as white. Because it is. And I will go back and fuss with those letters a little bit more later in a minute. And thankfully this gray is covering all the colors in one coat. So that's really nice. The other thing is the original metals had a little white line on the edge of this. See how it kind of pops off the sweater that way. Yeah, that gives it some dimensionality. Is that a word?
Just using the edge of the brush.
Yeah, I'm trying to use the edge of the brush a little bit, and then sometimes I have to use the tip because otherwise it doesn't see like that. That messed up. Now what I can do is take my red, and where it's overlapping here, we can highlight that part of the ribbon a little bit. So that feels also three-dimensional, not just flat. Where it's giving a little curve. Blue. Oh, that's why. More gray. That looks good. All right, I'm getting curious how he's going to look. So in a second here, I'm going to take off the silly putty just to see how he's turning out. So that was a good tactic to take, is to paint the two stripes on the side and then paint the one down the middle, because that one is easier to get straight. See? It's just a little tricky where it terminates here. Okay. Oh, I messed up. I'm going too fast. Let's go back with the red. Oh. Okay. I'm not going to get too picky. All right. Does that look good enough to almost wait? I just see one more spot. Okay, so because I'm not liking how the, let me do this with the black so I can dark line where the, see how that looks better. Just having a little something to clean up the edges a little bit. I love this like Bollywood rock sounding music. Okay, that looks so much better. I need to...
The shadow line created by the black makes those ribbons pop.
Yes, it does. And there is a line that the sculptor sculpted in there too, so it really helps that look 3D. It's like a little drop shadow here. Okay, I'm going to touch up a few things. There we go. And touch up some blues. Okay. I think I'm just going to leave that. I'm going to do a little touching up of highlights with this red real quick. Yeah, that's already looking really nice. What do you think so far with that red? Yeah, it looks like it's a different material than the sweatshirt. Okay. All right, there's one little blue spot, and then we can take off the okay. Let's go ahead and reveal. Let's do the thing. I'm just going to dry brush to be some gold. Let's see. I want a real gold. Burnished copper. Here we go. This is nice. Braid gold. This is by Dark Star. Hopefully I can get it shaked. Oh, that's nice. Okay, and I need a small dry brushy color. This is good enough for a dry brush. Put it on there, wipe a lot of it off. And then, because there's so much texture, look at that. Barely got to do anything. Paints itself. What do you think? Now,
the gold is going to pop.
Yeah, what I'm going to do next is put some of my transparent brown on here again. And kind of, it's almost like it's a little bit of a patina. This might be too wet. We'll see. Let's put it on the lower ones. Let that dry a little bit. I'm going to fix my metal here. So while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and do the reveal carefully. Don't want silly putty in his hair. Oh, I'm so happy. Look how good. What do you think? Now I can come back in and kind of pick out the details of this. I'm going to probably go over this metal some more with some more layers with the ink. So I get that. And actually, do I have a brighter gold even? Classic gold. This one looks maybe a little bit brighter. Okay, hold on a second. Oh yeah, that's got a lot of medium in the tip. There we go. Let's see what this does. Get some paint, again, wipe off most of it. And then I'm going to use the side of my brush to try to pick up highlights. Looks pretty good. I'm going to use some black here. And I'm going to use my Instar here. I'm just going to go and dark line underneath the metals. Put a little dark lining under some of the words here. And a little bit more brown, transparent in the recess here. All right. I'm so happy. He looks really nice. All right. What do you think? Do you see anything obvious that's sticking out? Okay. So, I'm going to go get the other models real quick and see how he looks with them. See if I need to do anything else. Oh. Now that I'm looking at him, I do think I need to go back in with some white. Let's see what happens. Because it is sticking out just a little bit to me. Just a little bit where it's overlapping some places here. That's better. Don't you think? Just a little bit of white makes his okay. Alright, now I'm going to take him and put him on this thing with the others. Yeah, I'm so glad with this. Look at that.
huge difference.
There's going to be a little, yeah. What I might do is, because like I said, that red is really pulling the eye a little bit. I might go back with the burgundy and just tone it down just a smidge. But how nice is that? Yeah, I like it. I still think Joe's my favorite of the three. I just feel like that was some of my best work that I've done in a long time.
Especially the skin tones on that one.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay, I'm just going to calm this red down a lot. It'll still read as red, but it just won't be quite so saturated. Let's put a little black down in here. That'll pull your eye back up to the top of his head. Yeah, that's already better. Okay, hold on, let me put my glasses on. Yeah, I like it. All right. Thanks everybody for showing up and for watching this.
Thank you for the stream. Really good.
Yeah. So like I said, I'll be doing this again probably later this month. I've got some other things to finish and work on. So, oh no, I got water on my model here. Hold on a second. There we go. What happens when I splash stuff? I should not leave projects on my desk. All right, we're gonna do our little outro, and I'll put these three on the end screen here. All right, here we go. Let's see. There we go. Let's see how this